Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I think I mentioned this in the last video. I may not have, I can't really remember. But this video is going to be a little bit different. As you see, we're not at work. We're not in the van. We are in my garage at my house. We're going to be working on the Jeep today. I've got to get a couple things I need to get done. We got Bubba Fest coming up here in 3 weeks, and in the next, there we go. In the next 2 weeks, I've got a wedding this coming weekend. I've got another wedding that I'm the best man for, and the weekend after that, and the weekend after that is Bubba Fest. So, got a lot of work to do in between now and then. Got a lot of stuff going on. So, today, what we got to do is I've got an issue on the Jeep that's not wanting to start. So, basically, when you turn the key, you get all your lights and everything, but when you turn it to run, there's something wrong between the signal wire that goes from the ignition to the relay and to the relay to the starter. So what we're going to do is we're going to bypass all of that. We're going to install a momentary switch, what I like to call a reset switch, but it's actually called a momentary switch, which basically means that to start the Jeep, you turn the car into the on position, not run, not like you're going to start it, but just like on, you know, like before you turn it over where your key rests while you're driving. And you'll turn that, then we'll hit a switch, truck will start. Once it starts, then you just let go of the switch, it resets to neutral. We're also going to trace down some lights. I've got a light bar, I got 2 light bars. The back one I haven't got to turn on yet, we're going to fix that. I've got 2 pod lights on the front bumper that we're going to get fixed and get them working, and both my headlights are acting a little weird. So we're going to redo all the wiring on those and install some more switches on the inside. I need to change out the driver and passenger seats because the driver one is shit. Passenger one we might change out, depends on if the wife wants to change it out because that's her seat. And then I got to put hood pins. Got to put hood pins in because the hood latch is trashed. So we're going to put hood pins on the front to hold our hood down. And I think that's it. We're going to see how much of that we get done today. I actually hurt my back yesterday at work. So the wife will be out here helping me today. Not really sure what the fuck I did. All I know is my fucking back hurts. And it's been hurting for a little over 24 hours now. So, yeah. But we're going to get all this knocked out. We're going to take you all on one for a ride. Okay. So real quick, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So we go in here, you know, there's the key. So you see, oh, this isn't gonna work right now. Hold on, just kidding. Good old trusty 4-liter here. I actually take off the main power cable. That's the other thing, we're putting a battery tray in today too. We'll do that at some point. That's a problem. Oh. There it is. Wife's moving her car. So, just keep the battery from draining. Take this off. Bring that back on. So this is what happens. You hear the beeping, so we got power. Cages are on. Turning the key, nothing happens. So we're gonna fix that today. So are you guessing? Look on your side, you got the only door. This door doesn't open, it got thrown into a tree. All right, so I'll show you guys what we have to do right now to get this to start. Step 1, keep this away from the positive, and I've got to feed that down, make sure it's not on the frame. So we can just send it this way. axle. also not where I want it. Basically, you want to keep it away from anything metal because I'm going to have to obviously attach it to the battery terminal to get the power. Okay. So now it's down there just hanging free, loose, and fancy free. Which is exactly what we want. So then, for now, just because this is going to be very, very temporary, we're going to try to just set that there, see if that works. So then, you come in here, take the key, put it in ignition, and you just turn it, so you turn it here, then you've got run, but run's not doing anything, so you just let it kick back. That's where it goes. Now we'll see if we can't get this thing started. Since we're bypassing all the safety, we make sure, yes, she's in park. Oh, it's a little bit harder today than usual. All right. Okay. So, you guys can see here. So this is your power up top, right here. That is your power. This little one is your signal. So this little wire right here, that is where your key, your ignition goes to relay comes to here. That's what starts the Jeep. So to start our Jeep right now, you have to do that. It's obviously not ideal. And then we just rip this off, pull this out, and now we're fine. So we're going to eliminate all that. Okay, got the Jeep in. So now we need to go from here to end there to down there. So that's the wiring. We're going to get started. Ash is grabbing the wiring. Let me show you guys this. This is actually pretty cool. Went yard selling this morning. Got all this box of wiring stuff, automotive wiring, for 50 bucks. I mean, that kit, this metal kit right here, this alone is $75. So, did pretty well. All right, so this kit's brand new. New wire shivers, which is awesome because I needed some. Alright, and this is everything that comes in the kit. That's everything that comes in it. All your connectors, all that good shit. So, first thing we need to find is these stud rings. And I am hopeful, we're going to be using 16 gauge wire. And this stud ring fits on this battery terminal. Okay, so it doesn't fit on the top one, but it does fit on the bottom one. So that's good. That's no big deal then. So, first let's do that. Okay, so this connector didn't fit on this post, which is why I put it there. Now I did buy a dual terminal battery, so I could have put it down here. But this is something I want easy access in case anything goes wrong, which is why it's going right there. So now is the fun part. I've got to run wire all the way back to the cabin. All right, so we got wire ran here, up, around. We'll obviously clean all this up later. And ran through the firewall down there and comes to the firewall up in there. So now here's what we do. So now what you do is we're gonna take this, we'll put an end on it, and then we'll connect to the switch. We'll go ahead and take the wire from the switch, run it back through the firewall, over and down to the starter, before we ever mount the switch. So then once that's done, then, and only then, is when I will connect this, which I did take back off. I realized I made my life harder because of this strap. So that's when we'll connect this to the battery, put the cable back on, and then we'll test it. Once it's tested, we know it's gonna work, we know everything's fine. That's when we'll decide where we're gonna put the switch and put the, and actually like mount the switch into the dash. So let's get this other wire ran. So explain something to you guys here. If you ever buy this Deka primary wiring, it's a little trick to it. There's a hole right here in the center. Run this wire through. Make sure that where that wire is coming out of the roll is placed in the front. Flip all this around. Kind of wind it up almost. Take the backing. Stick the backing back on like you're repackaging it. And then bam, pull the wire out as you need it. So we'll go ahead and cut this and get it connected to the switch. Now, there's our momentary switch. So what this does, down here with you guys, this rides, you know, like when we mount it, it'll ride like this, right? You turn the key, so turn the key to ignition, then you want to start it. So then, you know, it's going to be held in there and it'll just go. So when you let go, it automatically goes back to neutral. That's what we want. You could do this with a regular switch where you have off and on, but the problem is nothing's as quick as letting that go. Even if I hold it and then went to go back, you know, you've got that risk, somebody forgetting it, then all of a sudden you hear wing, 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 and it's the starter. And as you guys heard, this thing's pretty loud. So I'd rather just have a momentary switch on it. Bam, done. So now we have to run this cable. We've got it through the firewall, going to the front. So now we just have to run this to the starter and we'll be good to go. And there you have it. We got our wire down here. So now, next thing to do, put a butt connector on that with the O-ring, and the O-ring gonna go right here and then screw all this back down. So after, obviously, like I said, after we figure all this out and test it and it works, I'll beautify all the wiring and shit so it's not just hanging around. So let's get this butt connector on here. All right, there you go. So I don't know how good a light we had earlier, but there's the new wire. I'm gonna be running up. It'll go through here. Like I said, we'll tidy all these wires and things up once I know everything works, but now we're at the testing point. Okay, so I haven't tried this yet or anything. This is all raw, uncut. I'm gonna try it for the first time. So here's what could happen. It could work flawlessly, and that would be amazing. Or what could happen is that switch, because it's not labeled where it wants the wires, could need to be flipped. That's why you put the butt connectors on, you just pop it off, swap them over. So let's see what happens. So first things first, we'll put this on because it has no power. Doesn't need to be hella tight right now. Then we come over here. All right, so the starter is not already winding, so that's a good sign. Typically, if it was flipped, that starter would try to kick as soon as it got the power cable on.
Can I do the honors?
What? Negative.
Word.
All right, so now we start the 2 steps. Keys. To the run. And now we should. That's how you bypass the starter signal wire not working. Then shut it off and turn it back on. Like I said, this will be mounted. Now she's ready to roll. Now we get to do fun shit. Okay, so that kit that we bought comes with, what did they call it? A quick splice. They call it a quick splice. I call it a 2-in-1. I have weird names for shit to fuck over. So what this is, one wire goes in right here, 2 wires come out. It's as simple as it sounds. This bar comes down, connects to both, so here's why we need those. Well, here's why we're gonna need them. So we've got the battery right here, right? We've got our positive, our negative, right? So we've already got our obvious power coming off. Now we've got our starter power coming off. I wanted that separate on purpose. But the nice part about those quick splices is what that means is for the lights and everything else that we want to run, getting these pod lights down here to work, this to work, these to work, they're all gonna have to come off the battery. So we have 2 options. One, we can run, let's see, 1, 2, 3 for light bar, 4. Yeah, those are gonna run the same. So we could run 4 different wires all off this connection and have them all run to one switch, or to all their switches individually, right? Complete wiring fucking disaster and a mess. So basically what we do is we're gonna take one power wire, go up through and through the firewall and run it up. And this is, say this is, that's the inside. Let's put a little steering wheel here, put Ashley up here, smiley face with all hair going down. Okay, so we got our steering wheel here. So run these up through the firewall. This is only we only have to run this one cable, and then once we get into the firewall, then we run that one power wire through here, and then we run 2 wires out of here. So then we've got our one power wire that comes into here. This goes to a switch, that goes to a switch. And what I'm doing, I'm running 4 switches, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 switches. So then somewhere over here, we'll branch off again, and we'll run 1 wire, and then 2 more out. So that way we only have 1 power wire that goes through here, and then everything else is through there. A lot cleaner looking. All right. What we're gonna try here is this is actually rated 1210 instead of the 16 gauge wire we're using. So we're gonna try to use this because it has the hole that we need to put on top of this stud. So, like any good mechanic will tell you, and if they don't tell you, they're fucking liars. First things first, disconnect the battery. Too much shit can go wrong if you don't. So that'll go there. We're just gonna hang that out there for now. And it'll sit underneath the power wire. It'll actually go on top of the actual power wire when we're done. But for now, it's gonna hang out there. So now we go back to our red wire that we had before. 16 gauge. Cut it, twist it, pull it.
All right, bop it.
Just like that. That's what they were really training you for in real life.
Yeah. You just didn't know it.
This. Probably gonna have to go again. Well, we're gonna go again just to be sure. Perfect. Not going anywhere. I'm gonna hook that here. We're gonna throw this on there just for a second, just to hold it in place. Bam. We're gonna take this. My lovely assistant over here is gonna pull that over to the passenger or driver's side.
Oh.
And here's where it's about to get difficult. So I want to tie all these up here eventually.
You want your green one up there too?
Yeah, but that one I'm not worried about. Right now I'm just
Okay.
trying to figure out these.
Okay.
So this is where I just kind of fucked it. See?
No, you can just.
This is why people love my channel, because I don't edit shit out. We fucked up. It's okay. It's okay to fuck up. What I should have done was run this the other way. So now, take this.
Boo.
Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, hold that box. Just kind of feed me out. I don't want to fuck it up. Got it? Now, here's the part for my lovely assistant that also does the editing, is going to have to do a lot of editing. Because now is the time where Joey has to decide where the fuck these switches are going. So, it's going to be interesting. Alright, so let me show you what we decided. A lot of things escalated. So dash is out. These are actually pretty easy. You just pull them. The center pops out where it's got the vents and stuff. And then there's 4 screws you take out. The whole thing pops off. It's kind of a pain in the ass getting around this and this, but it's fine. So go over here, show you what we're about to do. So this is the normal cluster. Sits like that when you're driving. We've got this convenient little rectangle right here. So we're gonna put the switches right here. It's plenty out of the way when I'm wheeling and driving. And it's just too convenient not to use it. So we're gonna see if we can't put all the switches right there. So there's one done as far as mounting goes. So it'll look like this. Turn you guys up a little bit. Look like this. On and off. Got a little more square. 3 more to go. I think I've only got, let's see, we're gonna do light bar, pod lights. I got 4 switches I need, so 3 more to go. And there we go, boys and girls. 2, 3, 4. 4 switches. Our blues are gonna be our front, our reds are gonna be our backs. I think gonna end up having 1 extra switch than I actually need, but we'll go ahead and stick a wire on it and stuff. That way it's already ready. All we have to do is plug it into whatever we're wanting to plug into. So let's get this thing wired up and back installed. Okay, so now we've got all our wires ran here for the hot. This one I ran out of red, so that yellow is going to be hot. Now, each one of these is going to want a ground. They're also going to want an accessory. What the accessory does is these switches light up so I can see them at night, and it's going to give us that light up power. But that is going to have to be another wire ran through here because it's going to have to go into this box or into something in the Jeep, so that way it's not constantly lit up all the time and killing our battery. So we're going to do this 2, 4, 6, 8 more times. Alright, so this is all of it. Looks complicated, really not. This is all of it mostly done for now. So we're gonna eat some pizza real quick, and then we'll get right back to it, and we're gonna start actually testing all of these to make sure they're working. So be right back. Okay, update. So the last part of that video that you just saw was 2 days ago. That was Saturday. It's now Monday. Basically what happened was my back was honestly really hurting me after we sat down and ate for a minute. And then when I got back up to start working on this again, I tested it off camera. I didn't even think about it, and nothing worked. I run into straight to batteries, didn't work, just nothing worked. So I ended up calling a good buddy of mine, and special shout out to Matt Bryant. My dude dropped what he was doing about 45 minutes away from me, and dropped what he was doing, came straight here, helped me with it. Turns out basically what it was, I was overthinking the whole thing. I had it right, but I had it wrong at the same time. So now everything's all right. We're gonna get back on this wiring. I'll show you guys. I don't think I recorded where I ended up putting the monetary switch, the starter switch. I ended up putting it right here. So now we just hit that and turn the key, hit that, and it starts right up. So that's awesome. That part's done. Now we're gonna go back through my wiring here and figure out what I need and I don't need, because I know there's probably a wire or two in here I don't need anymore. I also went on Amazon and got 600 feet worth of wiring, because basically I was about to run out, which is the other reason we stopped. This yellow right here is actually all the wiring I had left, and that's not going to be enough to do what I need to do. So basically now what we're going to do is I've got to run 3 wires from, oh, that was the other thing. While Matt was here, we figured out why all this wiring was absolutely fucking janky. They had everything fucking wired to each other, which had burnt up wires. We went through all that and we knocked all that out. Ooh, that already came out. That's not good. Definitely have Matt fix that. But so that's all figured out now. Basically these 2 pod lights that you guys saw on the front, they're gonna get wired together, and then we're gonna have 1 wire. I need to run that wire to the switches that I'm putting inside, and I need to do the same thing for the light bar. I need to do the same thing. The headlights are already done. They just need to move to a new switch because I'm not gonna reuse the one that's on there, and I gotta do the one in the back. So essentially, like I said, it's not rust stuff. It's not gonna be that hard now that I've calmed down. I'm not overthinking it. We're gonna do, I need to run 3 wires from this battery terminal to the switch inside. I'm actually gonna do that backwards, but you get the gist. I need to run 3 wires inside from the battery, and then I need to run 3 wires from lights to the switch, and then take the wires that are already set up for the headlights and run them to the switch, or run them to one of the new switches, because I'm not going to use that little red one you guys saw anymore. So I got about 45 minutes till the wife gets home with the kid, and we're going to see how much this one get knocked out before then. So here we go. So now, as you guys can see, we've got our hops ran. Now I did just get in today my casing so I can put all this together to look all pretty and not so fucking janky. But as you guys can see, all of our hots are ran now. So now what we have to do is run a wire from each one of the accessory lights that we're wanting to use. We've got to run a wire from each one of those to the switch and then plug it all in, and it should all work flawlessly. At least that's the goal. Ready to roll. So over here, we've connected these 2 together. This should be this light bar. I don't know which one of these is the light bar, so we're going to throw all of them on there, and then we're going to connect those 2 of them, you know, a red and a yellow together onto a switch in there and make sure we did work. So let's see what happens. So first things first, let's go in here. Actually, I'll bring you guys down for this. So first things first, let's go in here. Oh. All right. And we're just going to pick a random one of these because we don't know which one it is. Ultimately, all of these can come off. I could have reused these red wires I'm putting on here, but I just figured I got the wires, just as easy to do it this way. So we're gonna take this off. I gotta put this switch back in. That was our test switch I took out. So it's a front light bar, so we're gonna put it, it's a big light bar, we're just gonna put it on the top here. We have a light bar. My switch is not lighting up, which could be a problem. Let's see. Well, all right, so let's try this. Huh. So now my switch isn't lighting up. See if that's as bright, or if I have it wrong. That doesn't seem as bright. All right, flip these wires back around here. Okay. Oh, now I've changed the red wire. All right, no big deal. Now we just go figure out which red wire I accidentally just put on. It's evidently not this one anymore. It's that one. Okay. I mean, if the switches don't light up, it's not the end of the world. It'd be nice if they did. Might be something I fuck with later. But as of right now, that's working. So, whew.
I can sing along like a shadow scream.